Good morning, everyone. How are you, Megan?
I am good. I am good. I am like I've got an energy flowing through me right now that I gotta turn off.
Gotta go for a run and get all that energy out, or make
Yeah.
some sales calls or
I
something.
transplanted some flowers this morning. That helped.
Oh, okay. Well, that doesn't help me. I kill all flowers. It's terrible. I do not have a green thumb, but that's another story. I used to say I'm lucky my kids are alive because I can't keep anything alive.
I bet they're super independent.
They are actually. It's really funny. All right, today I love this topic because I went through this myself. You are going through it now. And a lot of people come to me and they're like, I have this a great other idea. I have this business and that business and this other business. And I'm like, hold on. How about we choose one and really focus on it and blow it up and make you money? And they're like, oh, okay. So let's talk about what's going on in your world with your multiple businesses. And then I'll back up and say what my history's been.
So we are in the middle of selling our e-commerce business. We actually close on the 29th. I am so excited. And this all started like a year and a half ago. We've had this other e-commerce business for like 8 years. And I say we because it's supposed to be mine and my husband's. It's really mine. And then I have my CFO stuff that I do over here. That's like my real business. And for years, it has been this split attention, right? Like, it's hard. I know that I know there's a famous CEO out there who has like 2 big brands. He works 8 hours a day on one, 8 hours, whatever. I have a family, I have a life. That is not a template for how I want to live my life, right? So out goes the e-commerce business, bye-bye. And it is this breath of fresh air because like what finally put the nail in the coffin of this is the right decision for us is about a year and a half ago. I was talking to one of my coaches and he said, you are either experimenting with a business or you are exploiting a business. And they have to be solidly here or solidly here. Megan, you have 2 businesses that are right smack dab in the middle. You are trying to make a living off of 2 things that you're kind of experimenting with, kind of living off of, and it doesn't work.
Does not work like that.
It doesn't work like that.
It does not. It does not. And really that split attention, people don't realize because they'll look at like people who are bigger, right? Making a ton of money and they have all these different businesses and they're like, well, if they can do it, I can do it. But they did that when they got to the point where this business number one, let's say, was running itself. You have a manager, it's got employees, it needs very little of your time, perhaps just a decision here and there, and to keep track to make sure everything's going well. Then you can start another business and really put attention to a startup and a growth.
Right.
But when you're splitting your attention, it really means neither is being done very well at all. Usually.
Yeah, and even with like these 2 businesses are vastly different from each other. Retail e-commerce versus services for businesses, for small businesses, right? And even in this one over here in CFO world, I find myself doing the same thing, like splitting the attention because all of the different products are actually their own business, right? So I get that squirrely, like, ooh, you know what I should do? I should do this new course on X, Y, and Z and stack that on top of these other products that are already available. And then you find yourself, I find myself doing again, like splitting that same attention that if I focused on this one thing, I know that's my gravy train.
Definitely. And, here's the thing. When I ran my art framing and accessory company, which is how I got into the interior design world, I did that for 17 years, art framing and accessories. And when I started to transition to coaching, it started out as just having some seminars for local interior designers and then more business focus, and then realizing people needed even more help than I was giving them in these little seminars. So that's when, bing, light bulb, I should be a coach. This is my superpower. So what did I start to do? I started to straddle the 2 businesses. I was art framing and accessories, and then I was a business coach. And now people are starting to get confused. Wait, do I call her for art framing and accessories still? Or wait, is she still doing that? And now and it was related. Even though it's related, it was still confusing to the audience, and it was confusing to me. And I had two people, one of them still works for me, Sally, and my art manager was Barbara. So I thought I set it up where it can run itself with them and I can start moving over to coaching. But the reality was I really wasn't quite there where it could move without me. I still was the principal. It was still my van, my car, my product, my showrooms, my house was where my showrooms were. So people started getting confused, and I wasn't doing 100% of either one. When people started calling me for art, framing, and accessories, I started getting like, oh, like, I don't want to do this anymore. I love the coaching and helping people make more money and make decisions about their businesses. So when I shut down Expressive Living, scared to death, because it was still bringing in a decent, very decent income. And I thought, but I'm never going to get this coaching business up if I'm splitting my attention like this. Which I think once you go to closing and you release that e-commerce business, you are going to have 100% focus on helping small business owners like you do now. I refer people to you often for their financials, right? And how to manage their money and learning what they need to know and managing their businesses from the money side. You're going to be able to really focus on the courses you want to create, the coaching you want to do. It's going to be such a relief. And I see so many people out there that are doing this split focus and they're not doing it well. So I'm often saying to people, why are you doing these 3 businesses? Why are you doing these 2 businesses? Which one do you love the most? Mm-hmm. And let's make that, like, let's walk through the fear of letting the other one go.
Yeah. They're like even though the e-commerce business is like, in reality, what do? I do some reorders. I have people who do customer service. I have people that fill the orders. I reorder product. I do the marketing type thing. And even if what I do only takes tops 5 hours a week, in reality, managing the people, managing the inventory, selecting, stressing over marketing, blah, blah, blah. All of those things take at least 4 times the amount of time that I'm actually working in the business.
Right. I mean, even just strategizing in your own head and learning how to market yourself differently and like that's still your job as it's still a small business. So it's still your job as the CEO to figure all that stuff out. And that does take a lot of brain power, and you can't split your brain power constantly and expect either one to be insanely profitable for most people.
So my question for you, and what I'd like to talk about, is like, how do you know that it is ready, that it is good to be on its own, that I can go and find something else to play with?
When you know it's good on its own.
Yep. When do you know that, like, okay, I'm ready. This business is good to go. I'm ready to go start something new.
When you can basically once a week look at your financials, see how everything is going, and meet with your manager or your CEO of that business once a week and get the update.
I love
Pretty
that.
much when you're no longer the face of the business and you're not driving it yourself, you actually have someone running that entire business where you're able to be the true CEO and look at the numbers and touch base with the person who's running that business.
Yeah. And what I've seen is that I have seen people who have grown their own VA up into that position for them. And their VA has become like the one that runs their business, and they're no longer a VA. They don't consider, they get promoted into the company as a real employee, with a bigger title. But it's not like you have to go like professional CEO and go find them. You can grow up your own people within your business.
And actually, I have to tell you, for the first time, and I've loved all the business managers I've hired in the past, they've all brought me some value and something new and a new twist on doing things. But I have now brought up somebody from within my organization to be my manager. And it's for the first time, I feel like she understands so much about the operation because she's done so many different jobs within my organization. Now as the manager, so much less is coming to me for decisions on stuff that I should not be doing.
She's probably even built some of those systems, right?
Definitely,
75% of them are
definitely.
probably her systems that she built.
Right. I mean, when you have standard operating procedures and you're bringing in a new manager and they have to now learn your whole system, it's certainly possible. And that's the way most people do it. But if you can promote from within, always better that way. Right. So I can see over the next 6 months, I am truly going to become, and I'm pretty much there now, the face of the business, the coach, the person creating the content, the courses, the products that we sell to help people grow their businesses, making the connections, doing the live speaking engagements. And she will be running my entire operations behind the scenes with very little intervention from me. That to me, eventually, I don't even see how this coaching business could ever have me start another complete business separate with and pull me out completely, because I love coaching. I don't want to release that. Right. So I'm not sure I ever want to release that responsibility in my own business. Who knows what the future has to hold, but I love what I do. So when I see people with two businesses, I'm like, which one gets you out of bed in the morning and makes you enthused?
There is one. Like, even if you start out with, I love both of them. Like, I loved my e-commerce business when we started it up, right? I loved it. It was total blast. When I was a little kid, I used to play retail store up in my room, with Monopoly money and stuff. I loved it. But as soon as there is a second option, you will pick. You will pick a favorite, even if you think that you won't. Like, I love both of these things. No, you can't serve two masters.
You can't. And here's the thing. It's not just about which one you love the most, because often people are so disconnected from which one they love the most because they're tying it to the money or the dream of what that business could have been. And when your ego gets involved, like, imagine me starting a coaching business and 2 years later having to walk away a failure. Like, that would be so hard for me. So if I was running Expressive Living still and the coaching business, and the coaching business wasn't doing well, but it was really like, well, they're both making me a little money, so I don't think I can give up either one. It's that fear and then the ego of, God, I can't believe I thought I was going to make it and I didn't. Right? So you could either go into a depression or make a really hard decision to go, it's a terrible expression, but I use it all the time, balls to the wall, and like focus on one thing and actually implement. I can't tell you how many clients, and now I'm going to go into a little rant, they'll come into my membership site or they'll coach with me, but they don't implement. And I have to then work many hard sessions with them getting through the mindset stuff. And that's the beauty of having a coach, that I can do that one-on-one with people, because it's all about mindset. It's all about making the hard decisions on which direction you want to put your effort towards. And I love the fact that you've made a decision to put your effort towards what you love more, even though the other one's making you money. You're going to be successful when you make a true decision to just focus on the one thing and put your blinders on and stop getting distracted by all the other incredible ideas that we have. All entrepreneurs have great ideas every day.
That's why I put them on sticky notes and put them on my wall, right? Like, there's this preciousness that we give our ideas. And if we ignore them, the ideas stop flowing. But if we give them too much attention, they're distracting. So yes. I just put them on a sticky note on a certain section of my wall for what they are. And sometimes they, I pull them off the wall for later. But
I was just going to say, I love that idea. We have in Asana, we have what we call on the deck for all the ideas I come up with weekly. Like, oh my God, we should do this. Oh my God, people need this. Somebody asked me to do this. And I'm like, all these. So our sticky notes are in Asana, but I really do love the idea, and I may start it on my wall. I love the idea of sticky notes. And every week go look and go, oh, this wasn't such a good idea. Well, what was I thinking? I don't really want to do that anymore. Rather than running full force in your brain with every single idea as if it's fabulous.
Because the idea that you came up with last is the one that you are going to pursue, right? Whether it's a good idea or not, like the last one is always the best idea. And that's when I get into trouble, is when I run with that idea the second I have it. If I give it little bit of room to breathe, a few days to breathe, and put it in the realm of all the ideas out there, the better
I
ones.
think I need to get better at that because I still think every one of my ideas is fabulous. That's why I'm loving your sticky note idea, because I think that would help my team. My poor team, they hear me like, oh my God, we should do this. And they're like, hold on, we got the other 6 ideas working and we need till September to implement them. I'm like, oh. So I have to wait until September for this idea. Now, by the time September comes, I'll be like, that was a stupid idea. Why did I ever? So it's good that it's almost good that my team slows me down, but I really do like the sticky note on the wall idea. It's like, I almost would put it in 3 categories: great idea, good idea, and then, blank for garbage, right?
Well, I have like categories and subcategories. I have ideas for my house. I have ideas for my business, but this one is for revenue. This one is for experiments. This one is for my clients, And then I have like all of the artistic ideas of, this would be a fun trip to take, or this would be a fun thing to paint in my watercolors,
You're so funny. Yeah, I'm surprised we don't see sticky notes all behind you right now.
I try to keep them off of this wall. There's plenty of. There are 3 other walls in this room to have.
But here's the best part. I am the shoemaker without shoes, right? I can't always see if my own ideas aren't good, but I can see whether other people's ideas aren't good, right? Like, people come to me and go, I had this great idea, I'm going to do this. And I'm like, that's never going to work. Been there, done that, tried that, had a client who tried that. That's never going to work. And then they go through their ideas and I become their business partner. I'm like, that's the idea. That's the one I know multiple people have had success with. That's the one that matches your personality, that I think you're going to be able to really fly with. That's the one that has a audience that wants what you are selling, right? And I'm able to see that, which is what makes me a good business coach. But for myself, sometimes I get the same thing everybody else gets, all that confusion.
I read a thing yesterday, and I don't remember where I read it, but we always have better ideas for other people than we do for ourselves. There's an objectivity that comes with it.
Hands down, which is why one of the exercises I do for myself is I sit and I go, what would I tell Megan if she came to me with this idea? And then I think, and I actually imagine you saying it to me, and immediately I can go, yeah, that wasn't a good idea. And it takes it out of my ego.
I like that.
It's really important. And I do the same thing and it's in my book, Respond with Confidence. Like, one of the techniques you can use when you're not sure if you're responding to someone in a professional manner because you're emotional is to say, if my friend sent me this and said, I'm looking for your advice, I was going to send this to a client, read it as if your friend was sending it, to give it some objectivity and give it a little distance from your emotion and your ego. And it really does work. If you can really implement it regularly, it stops a lot of stupid ideas from coming to the surface. Just saying.
I like it.
The topic today was splitting your focus between 2 or 3. I've had 3 people have 3 businesses, is not always financially savvy. So if you're just tuning in now, go back and listen. That there are times it can work, and there are often, for small business owners, times where it's just never going to work. And you can hold on to it till you're blue in the face for ego reasons and self-esteem. But in the end, when you release it, which you're getting close to doing now, it's going to be great.
It's going to be great.
I can't wait to see the programs you come out with to help people.
They're on the wall right over there.
All on the Post-its. All right. I can't wait for them to start coming off the board. So, all right. I hope this helps somebody today. Thank you, Megan, for being here for Money Talk Tuesday.
My pleasure, Nancy. Thank you.
Oh, someone's saying they're in such a place now, not knowing where to put their focus. Yeah. Don't know who that is because they have to click that Be Live link. I don't know if I post that anymore. Anyway, yeah. And if you need help with that, I don't know who it is. I'm going to go look now to see if I can figure out who it is. Oh, it's funny. It's not showing here. Secret. If you need help, then get on a consult with me, because this is one of the things that I love to do, is figure out with you which business is going to be your future, right? That's it. Which business is going to be your future? Which is going to make you money? Which one are you going to love? It's one of my favorite things to do. So, all right, Megan, I will talk to you next week. Everyone go have a great Tuesday, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Oh, funny. This doesn't want to turn off. We're still live and literally it won't click. All right, I'm going the old fashioned way, shutting the whole window.
All right. See ya. Bye.